Wimbledon is the oldest and most prestigious tennis tournament on Earth. Since 1877, on the perfect lawns of the All England Club in southwest London, the best players in the world have fought for the same gold and silver trophy in front of royalty. Most of the legends of the sport have won it once, twice, maybe 3 times. Only a handful have ever won it more. Wimbledon 2026 begins on 29 June, and before the first ball is struck on center court, we are going to settle a debate older than most fans watching. These are the 5 greatest Wimbledon men's singles champions in the 149-year history of the tournament, ranked by the only thing that ultimately decides tennis greatness on grass: how many times their name was engraved on that trophy. At number 5 is Björn Borg, the ice-cold Swede who turned Wimbledon into his personal kingdom for half a decade. Between 1976 and 1980, Borg won 5 consecutive Wimbledon titles, a feat that remains untouched in the Open era to this day. His 1980 final against John McEnroe, with its legendary 18-16 fourth-set tiebreak, is still regarded as one of the greatest matches ever played. What makes Borg's record more astonishing is the contrast. He was a teenage clay court specialist with heavy topspin and a two-handed backhand, the polar opposite of the serve-and-volley game that dominated grass in the 1970s. He still demolished everyone on it. With 11 Grand Slam titles before retiring at just 26 years old, fans are still left wondering how many Wimbledons Borg could have collected if he had not walked away from the sport in his prime. His 5 Wimbledons in 5 years remain the high-water mark of grass-court dominance in the modern era, and the reason every player who has followed measures themselves against Björn Borg. At number 4, and almost forgotten outside the record books, is William Renshaw, the original Wimbledon king. Renshaw won 7 Wimbledon men's singles titles between 1881 and 1889, including 6 in a row from 1881 to 1886. That 6-in-a-row streak is a record no player in the Open era has come close to breaking. Sampras and Federer each managed 5 straight at most. Renshaw played in an era when Wimbledon used the now-abolished challenge round, meaning the defending champion only had to play the final to retain his title, a structural advantage, certainly, but he also dominated the all-comers tournament whenever he had to enter it. He helped popularize tennis itself, invented the modern overhead smash, and turned what had been a polite garden party game into a serious competitive sport. His 7 titles tied him for the all-time Wimbledon men's record for over a century, until Pete Sampras matched the feat in 2000. If you measure Wimbledon greatness purely by trophies won at the All England Club, William Renshaw is one of only 3 men to ever reach 7, and he did it first. Number 3 is Pete Sampras, the man who owned Wimbledon for the entire decade of the 1990s. Pistol Pete won 7 Wimbledon titles between 1993 and 2000, including 4 in a row from 1997 to 2000, and he did it with one of the most devastating serve-and-volley games in tennis history. Sampras's flat, second-serve kicker was a weapon that opponents simply could not read. He could finish points in 3 shots. He defended his Wimbledon title successfully more often than anyone in the Open era before Federer arrived. His 2000 victory tied William Renshaw's record of 7 Wimbledon men's titles and crowned what was, at that point, the most dominant grass-court career ever played. Sampras finished with 14 Grand Slam titles total, a record that stood for years before Federer broke it. But on grass, Pete Sampras was untouchable. He never lost a Wimbledon final, and his straight-sets demolitions of Becker, Agassi, and Ivanišević in the championship match defined an era of pure grass-court tennis. For an entire generation of fans, Wimbledon meant Pete Sampras with the trophy in his hands. Number 2 is Novak Djokovic, the most decorated tennis player in the history of the sport. Djokovic has won 7 Wimbledon titles in 2011, 2014, 2015, 2018, 2019, 2021, and 2022, and reached the final in 9 of the last 12 championships. His 2019 final against Roger Federer, which Djokovic won after saving 2 championship points in the longest Wimbledon final in history, is widely considered one of the greatest tennis matches ever played. But Djokovic's case for greatest of all time stretches far beyond Wimbledon. He holds the all-time men's record for Grand Slam singles titles with 24, having surpassed both Federer and Nadal. He is the only man in history to have won every Grand Slam at least 3 times. His career win rate of around 83% is the highest in the Open era of tennis. His head-to-head record against the other members of the Big Three is positive: 27 wins to 23 against Federer and 31 to 29 against Nadal. He has held the world #1 ranking for more weeks than any player in history. On any surface other than Wimbledon, Djokovic would be #1 on this list without debate. But Wimbledon belongs to one other man, and he beat Djokovic to 8. And at #1, the greatest Wimbledon champion in the 149-year history of the tournament is Roger Federer. Federer holds the all-time men's singles record with 8 Wimbledon titles: 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2009, 2012, and 2017. No man has ever won the championships more times. He reached an absurd 12 Wimbledon finals across 2 decades, more than anyone in history. His match record on Wimbledon's grass is 105 wins to just 14 defeats, a 92% win rate at the most prestigious tournament in the sport. From 2003 to 2007, Federer won 5 consecutive Wimbledon titles, matching Björn Borg's modern-era streak. His serve and baseline hybrid game was custom-built for grass. The slice, the footwork, the calmness under pressure, Federer turned playing on lawn into an art form. His 2017 victory at age 35 made him the oldest Wimbledon men's champion of the Open era. Beyond the trophies, no player has ever been more synonymous with the All England club. The Royal Box stood for him. The centre court grass bent for him. When tennis historians 50 years from now ask who the greatest Wimbledon champion was, only one name will be on the trophy more than any other: Roger Federer. From Björn Borg's icy 5 in a row at #5 to Roger Federer's record 8 Wimbledon titles at the top, these are the men who turned the All England club into their own personal courtyard. Wimbledon 2026 starts on 29 June. Will Sinner, Alcaraz, or someone we haven't even heard of yet add their name to this list? Tell us in the comments who you think is the true Wimbledon GOAT, and subscribe before the first ball is struck on center court.